So you work with care in a way that feels right for you. I'll just check my screen, make sure you can see me. And just with that idea as well that we usually do when you come to your mat, it's it's time for you now. So we're going to start standing up and just we're going to work a bit with the shoulders, and then we're going to come down onto the floor and work with lunges, so sort of the whole body really. So just start off by circling your shoulders, circling your shoulders. Just make sure. Sorry, I couldn't remember if you could hear me, if I turned off mute. So, and we're just going to turn the head from side to side. And you're not trying to do anything really, but just move gently and move with care. So whatever was going on this morning, whatever might happen later, you're just taking a bit of time for you, just moving your head from side to side. And then just coming to centre, lifting up the right shoulder, breathe in. And as you breathe out, just let it go. Lift up the left shoulder, breathe in. And as you breathe out, just let it drop. And just do that a few times, just lifting one shoulder at a time and just connecting with your breath as well. So you're just learning in a way, training yourself, ourselves, myself, yourself, just to slow down. And then we're just going to stop, circle the shoulders a few times backwards or away from you, and then forward. And then we're just going to take the arms in front, and you're just going to cross the arms and just, one elbow on top at a time, and widen the elbows or soften the elbows. So you're not stretching, you're just crossing the arms gently from side to side. And then just as you scissor, scissoring the arms, taking the arms down and taking the arms up. And your gaze can stay forward. But if it feels okay, when the arms go down, take the gaze down. So that takes you into a bit of a forward bend. And then as you take the arms up, if it's okay, soft elbows, as you take the elbows up, you can take the gaze up. So that takes you into a bit of a back bend. So just doing that a few times, and you can slow it down or you can speed it up. Doesn't matter, kind of working in a way that feels doable for you and accessible for you. So it doesn't matter if it's the first time you've done yoga, or if you've been doing yoga for years, you always work in a way that feels right for you today, for this minute. And then just coming back to where you started, and then we're just going to take the arms a little bit wider, and then we're just going to softly hug ourselves. Just like I do this movement quite a few times, quite a lot, and just kind of carrying on, taking the arms wide, closing the arms in. And then in the same time, as you take the gaze down, just let the arms kind of hang down with you. So your hand might still reach the back of the shoulders, and change the cross of the arms each time. So if the right elbow goes on top, next time you open and close, take the left elbow on top. And then just coming up, and then taking the gaze up. So you go into a small, easy kind of back bend. So almost, it's happening without you being aware of it, or without you consciously doing it. Your body will just work in a way that it's meant to work if you set up the steps, if you set up the process. And then just going down, gaze goes down, so you go into that soft kind of back bend, and your knees are soft. And then as the arms cross, taking the gaze up and feeling the back bend, and kind of soften your knees, soften the knees, and just wiggle your toes a few times, a little bit, and then just come back to centre, and then stop. Just let the arms rest down by your side, but have a real sense of connection from the arm into the shoulder, a real sense of belonging from the hands through the wrists to the elbows back to the shoulder. And then we're going to carry on in this kind of vein. We're going to soften the knees, and you're just going to take the elbows in front, so right hand on the left elbow, left hand on the right, and just twist from side to side. So soft knees, just moving the elbows from side to side. So you're just kind of easing into the body. And in the same way as you're twisting from side to side, take the elbows down towards the knees. As you're twisting from side to side, take the elbows above your head, and your gaze can go up as the elbows go up, and your gaze can go down as the elbows go down. So with the gaze, there's a real strong link between where our gaze is and what's happening with our neck, and our neck is part of the spine. So as the gaze lifts, the neck will extend, and that will extend your spine. As the gaze comes down towards the floor, the neck will kind of flex, go into a forward bending motion, and the spine will go into a forward bending motion. And you just softly rocking, twisting, rotating from side to side. And if it feels okay, just let go of the elbows. Just take the arms a little bit wider or longer, whatever the word is. So you release the elbows and you're just rotating from side to side. And the knees are quite soft, and again you can go down towards the floor, and the fingertips might touch the floor or they might not. And you can, as you rotate, you can take the arms up towards the ceiling. So I get a bit confused, and the gaze can go up. So just kind of seeing how that is. So you're not trying to do anything particular except get rid of tension and tightness and disease or unease in parts of the body. And then just come to centre and stop. So we've done forward bending, backward bending, twisting. Now we're just going to try to do a few side bends. So a full range of movement of the spine. So again, start off quite softly. The hands can just link on the elbows. Now be aware of your shoulders. Move the right shoulder up and down, soft, soft knees. And we're just going to allow the right shoulder to sink slightly towards the right hip. Or you can imagine the right elbow coming down towards the right hip. So between two panes of glass, come up to centre. Then the left elbow or left shoulder goes down towards the left hip. And the left elbow might touch or it might not. And then you're just doing that a few times. Just side bending, side to side. Soft, soft knees. And then if it feels okay, if it feels all right, carefully take the elbows a little bit higher. And then the right shoulder sinks towards the right hip. Or you imagine the right elbow coming a little bit closer towards the right knee. So if you're going to let go of the elbows and the right arm, the right hand might touch the outside of the right knee, the left arm might go up, the gaze might go up, and then just fold back. You can twist a little bit when you come to centre because it's quite a strong movement. And then when you're ready, just stop. If it's okay, take the elbows a little bit higher, and then imagine that left elbow going down, down, down towards the left knee. So between two panes of glass, you're not forward bending, you're going to the side. So forward bending is you'd be doing this. If you're not forward bending, the left shoulder is above the left ankle, the outside of the left ankle. And you can, if you like, the left hand can come down to the outside edge of the left knee, the right arm can go up, only if it feels okay. And then you can fold the arms back to come back. So the arms are helping you, but your spine is doing the work. And then just rock a little bit from side to side, because I know they're quite strong. And then stop in the centre, and just let go of the shoulders, wiggle or move the fingers a little bit. So you just kind of come back to stand and to stop and to settle. So now we're going to take the feet a little bit wider, and the hands can rest on the thighs, and you're just going to move one knee forward, bring it back, then move the other knee forward, bring it back. So when I say moving the knee forward, so the right knee is moving forward past the right toes, and then you bring it back. Then the left knee is moving forward past the left toes. So your spine is moving in relation to, but you're just sending the knee forward. So when you, let's see how we go. So when we send the left knee forward, really be aware of the left heel. So try not to put too much, you're not pushing into that knee or anything like that. Really allow the left heel to support the weight of the leg as the left knee moves forward. Then bring it back. Send the right knee forward. Really be aware of the right heel as the right knee moves forward. And the hands are light. And then just come back to centre. Soften the knees. Hands can rest on the knees. Lift up one heel at a time. Really having a sense of connection, I suppose, from the heels to the knees and to the spine, up through to the spine. And then stop, and the heels lightly engage as you draw the gaze down towards the floor, because then you know you're going to go into a forward bend. Let go of the shoulders. Maybe the hands go a little bit lower towards the ankle. The top of the head hangs. Elbows are wide. And just see, perhaps the fingertips might touch. Lift up or bend one knee or lift up one heel at a time. So you're just mobilising. All we're trying to do is mobilise. We're not trying to make a shape or force yourself into any complicated position. We're just trying to mobilise our body. And then ever so carefully bring the hands back towards the knees and just come back to stand. Bring the feet just back to Tadasana or mountain pose. So hip width apart, and just stop for a few moments. So I know we haven't done very much, but we've been constantly moving. So now allow yourself to stop and really be aware of the difference. And sometimes it can be a relief to stop, or sometimes we might be kind of chomping at the bit to start moving again. So just whatever you're feeling, just notice all those feelings. But take your attention to your feet. Feel the support beneath the feet. Feel the strength perhaps in your legs. Strength in the spine. Strength in the shoulders. Strength in the head. Because even if sometimes we don't feel very strong, there is strength there, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to stand. So we're going to kind of progress now. So we're going to just come to the back of your mat. So I'll turn sideways. And we're just going to take the right foot forward. We're going to send the right leg forward. So there's space between. So the right leg isn't in front of the left. There's space between. And soften both knees. Lift up the back heel a few times, up and down a few times. And when the back heel comes down, make sure that you're not locking the back knee. And send the right knee forward. Send the right knee forward. And we're going to do just what we did more or less before. We're just going to maybe take the hold of the elbows and just rock, twist from side to side. But your knees and your hips are facing forward. They're facing forward. We're just trying to free up the upper part of the spine while kind of building strength in the legs. And then if it's okay, you can open the arms. You can open the arms and just swing from side to side until eventually perhaps the hands can come towards the knee. Hands can come towards the knee. And just stop there for a few moments so you're not pushing into the knee, and just see if there's a possibility of bringing the hands towards the floor, fingertips to touch the floor. If there's no such possibility at all, you can just use a chair. You can kind of, manoeuvre your furniture or move yourself and just kind of touch the chair, and then bring yourself back, bring the right leg back. We're going to send the left foot forward. So there's space between the feet, especially if you feel a bit unbalanced. Make sure you've got space between the feet, because that kind of widens a stable area. So lift up the back heel a few times, just kind of so you get a sense of how that back leg feels. From the heel, through the back of the knee, through the hamstrings, right up through to the hip. So when the back heel comes down, you're not locking the back knee. You can still send or bend the back knee, soften the back knee, like there's a spring inside. Imagine there's a spring, and then send the left knee forward. So both knees, in a sense, are, I want to use the word springy, almost as that you can bounce. You're not, because if joints are locked, then there's so much pressure goes into them. If you have a sense of a spring, you're allowing the cartilage, the spongy material in between the bone, to work as it should be. So you're not locking, you're not compressing, you're easing into the joints and you're mobilising joints. So the knees are going forward. And then again, just rock the upper part of the spine or twist, whatever word or kind of whatever feeling is nice for you at the moment. You might want to do a side bend, so you can take the left shoulder towards the left hip. You take the right shoulder towards the right hip. So we're just mobilising, moving the upper part of the body. And then when you're ready and you come to centre, maybe you can take the hands onto the thigh, the left knee is moving forward, elbows are wide, your gaze is down because you're going into a forward bend. So really ease the jaw, so you're not tightening the jaw, make sure your jaw is soft. And then is there a possibility of bringing the fingers towards the floor? Without sinking or without pushing into the floor, can you just touch the floor? And like I said before, if it's impossible, use a chair or a stool, or sometimes people use blocks. And then just bring yourself back up and step back. So this is what we're going to progress. So you might, I would always have a chair here, I know how to use it, but when I say a chair, it's kind of, you can use into this, because what we're going to do now, we're going to bring the back knee down. So if you need something like a chair, then, just kind of adjust what you need. So we're going to send the right leg forward, right leg goes forward, and just as we did before, there's space between, and you can feel the heel resting into the floor. You can have a sense that you can move both knees, so we're not locking any joints, we're not creating undue strain in any part of our body. So the back heel lightly comes down, the right knee moves forward, because we want to build strength. We don't want to shear muscles, we don't want to hurt ourselves, we want to build strength and connection from the heel to the knee to the hip. So you can do what we did before, you can move from side to side, just having a sense of how mobile the upper part of your body can be, and the lower half of the body can support you. The hips might move a little bit. If you place your hands on the hips, you can move the hips a little bit. Knees are soft, knees are soft. And then you stop with the hips facing forward, knees facing forward. That's it. And then we're just going to see, can we bring the hands onto that front knee? Now you're not pushing into the knee. You can lift the back heel up and down. Oh, it's my dogs. I forgot to put my dogs in the cage. Sorry, hopefully you'll be quiet. So you're lifting the back heel up and down. Then as the back heel goes down, kind of rest a little bit. And then just see, is there a possibility of bringing the fingertips to lightly touch the floor? If there isn't, use the chair, bring your hands onto the chair. Bring the back knee down if possible, so the back toes are tucked under. Hands are either side of that front foot. And then you just kind of let yourself settle for a few moments. Your gaze is down, and then just see, can you lift the back knee to send the back heel towards the floor? Can you bring the back heel up to bring the knee down? Can you lift the left knee to send the heel towards the floor? Can you lift the back heel to bring the knee down? So you just kind of, sometimes it's called like a runner's thing. If you can come onto your knuckles, just kind of see, or you're just on the tips of the fingers. We're trying not to put too much pressure into the hands at all. If you're using the chair, you might have to put pressure down into the hands, but just kind of experiment with where you are. So just easing into the backs of the legs. And then the next time the left knee comes, or the left knee lengthens and the back heel comes down, bring the back heel up, transfers the weight forward to step up. Soften the knees and up you come. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to send the right leg back. So the left leg is forward. Lift the back heel up and down a few times. Then as the back heel goes down, you send the front knee forward. So you just kind of get that position that we're in before. And you can move the upper part of the spine from side to side. Move the spine from side to side. Your gaze can move from side to side. Shoulders are free, all those kind of things. And the knees can move. And then when you're ready, you can bring the hands onto that left knee. Maybe, perhaps you can bring the hands onto the floor or onto a chair. And then we bring the right knee down. And then we see, just by sending that right heel away, can we lift the right knee? Just by bringing that right heel up, you can feel the weight transfer forward. Can you bring the knee down? Just kind of working with that a few times. Now that front foot stays exactly as much as possible as it is. So you're not trying to change anything in that front foot. That stabilises you. You've got the base of the big toes, little toe and heel. And in the back foot, the base of the big toe, little toe and heel stabilises you as that left or right knee comes down and as that right knee lifts. And then the next time you lift, bring up that right heel, transfer the weight forward to step up. Soft, soft knees to bring yourself up. Right, so we're going to see if we're going to progress this, and we're going to go into a lunge. So we're going to come into all fours. So we're going to come down onto the floor, come into all fours. Hang on. I'll have to introduce. My dog's going at the microphone. Oh, I'm really sorry. Disappeared. Right, so we're in all fours. So your the wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and just shake off the wrists. Lift up one knee at a time, and just settle. So you can feel the weight resting down into the hands. You can feel the weight resting down into the knees. And just to sort of mobilise a little bit, just round the spine, round spine, breathe in. And as you breathe out, just let go. You sink between the shoulders, you sink at the back of the waist. Breathing in, round spine. Breathing out, just let go. And then just connecting into the floor with what we have, resting into the floor. And then just walk the hands back towards the knees. We're going to come up to kneel, and then you're going to send the right foot forward. You're going to go into the beginning of a lunge. And we're going to do exactly the same, and the right leg or right foot is not directly in front, it's out to the side. If you need anything to kind of stabilise you or help you, if you need to pad up the back knee, you pad up the back knee, all those kind of things. There's no kind of right or wrong with any of these things. We're just trying to mobilise, we're trying to build strength and mobility. So the right knee is forward, you can do what we did before, kind of twisting from side to side, moving from side to side. And then the hand just come to centre, hands can lightly rest on that thigh. And then we're going to take the arms up. Take the arms up. But you're going to allow the weight of your body to sink down through the pelvis. Down, down, down. So feel the weight of your body. Use the back foot, the front of the back foot, to lighten the load in that back knee. Then the left hand is going to come down. The right hand is going to go behind you, possible. And you just turn to look behind you. So you go into a bit of a rotation. And then come back. Swap knees. Pad up the back knee. You might, if you want to put a cushion underneath or roll the mat or anything like that, it's fine. So the left knee is forward, just rock from side to side. And then if it's okay, when you rock round towards the left, the right hand rests on the left thigh and the left hand can go behind you. So you're just twisting through the upper part of the spine. Use the right foot, the front of the right foot down into the floor to engage the right hip. So you're not sinking. And then come back. And then we're going to swap legs again and we're going to go into a lunge. So right leg goes forward. The hands can rest on that right thigh. And then we're going to see, just as we did before, is there a possibility that you can take the hands down either side of that right leg, that right foot? And then we're going to see if we can just maybe take the hands a little bit further forward. So the knee can start to move a little bit further forward. But take your attention to that back foot, the left foot, down through the back, the front of that left foot. Can you lift the back knee? So make a bit of space in the hip. So you're going into a lunge, kind of, but you're not pushing into that knee. Use that back foot, use the right heel to not push in to that right knee. And then you come back to where you started. Swap knees. So left one goes forward, let the left foot goes forward, let the left hand just rest on that left thigh. Take your gaze in front of you, move your shoulders around a little bit. Now you know your hips and the pelvis is heavy, so use that right foot to lighten the load in that knee. So you're not just sinking down into that knee. You're not just sinking. Weight goes down, you don't have to push. So then just see, is there a possibility of taking the hands down either side? If there isn't, you can keep the hands there, or you can take the hands onto a chair, or just kind of, you can adjust. And then we just see, if you walk the hands forward a little bit, can you send that front knee forward so it tracks true past the front toes? Use the back foot, maybe you can lift the back knee, but use the back foot to lighten the load in that back knee to make sure you're not pushing into that front knee. And then bring yourself back. So we're just going to go one more time. We're going to send the right foot forward. Maybe send the foot a little bit further forward. So, before maybe the heel was underneath the knee, maybe you can send it a little bit further forward. Maybe they just try and change it a little bit different. So the right hand can rest on that right knee, the left hand can rest on the back of the waist. Now as that front knee, the right knee moves forward, imagine you can draw back into the hand that's behind you. So it's going into it in a different way, because there's no right or wrong. You're trying to mobilise, build strength in your body. Then see, is there a possibility of bringing your hands or fingertips down, but your spine, collarbone, down past the chest, is coming away from that right knee. So you're going into a lunge without sinking, and then coming back. So being careful with yourself. Right, so left foot goes forward last time. You can place the hands on that left thigh. Shrug the shoulders a few times. Now the fingertips resting down, but the shoulders aren't pulling you down. The shoulders are connecting back towards the spine and your gaze is forward. Maybe keep the left hand on that left knee and let the right hand come to rest behind. Engage down into the back foot, the front of the back foot. And you might feel something in the lower back, in the lumbar spine start to lift. And as that front knee moves forward, imagine you can come back into the hand that's resting behind you. As the front knee moves forward, you're coming back into the hand that's resting behind you. So your spine stays lifted, your gaze stays forward. And then if you do bring your fingertips down and your gaze goes down, let go of the pelvis, let go of the pelvis. Keep that sense of going down into the back foot and then bring yourself back. And then stop. Bring the legs in front. Bring the legs in front. Just circle your shoulders a little bit. Your gaze is towards your toes. And just let your hands come to rest on your knees. And just massage the knees. I know they're really quite, can be quite brutal on the knees, these kind of things. But they're really good at improving circulation and building strength in the knee joints themselves. And I think it's something that we all need really, don't we? And then just lifting up one hip at a time, so you're just rocking from side to side. So we're just going to go into a rotation, much like we did before. So we're going to bend the knees slightly, that takes the pressure off the lower back. And just bring the hands, just as you did before, just crossing the arms in front, and just rocking from side to side. Just easy. Just feeling that rotation through the spine or through the hips, or wherever you feel it. And then next time you come forward, let the left hand rest on the outside of the right knee. Let the right hand come to rest behind. So you just turn to look towards the right. Come to centre. Right hand comes on the outside of the left knee and the left hand just comes to rest behind you. And from inside underneath the ribs, just turn a little bit towards the left. Come to centre. So you can adjust your feet, you can have the legs long. If you would like to be cross-legged, you can go cross-legged, or you can kneel. You can choose which way you'd like to be. Whichever way you are, so you're going to send the left hand towards the right thigh. And now you're going to take the right hand on the top of the head. Now let the whole weight of the spine rest down towards the floor. So you shrink and you collapse, because you might be doing that anyway. So let yourself shrink, give yourself permission to shrink and collapse. And now you're going to lift and you're going to grow. Almost as though from inside or the very base of the spine right through to the top of the head, you can lift and you can breathe in, because you've given your space to breathe in. And then when you breathe out, turn from inside underneath the ribs, turn towards the right. And the right hand might come down towards the floor, or the right hand might come towards the left hip. And continue to breathe as you come back to centre. Take the hands on the top of the head and have that sense of coming up, away from the floor. And then this time, as you turn from inside the ribs, turn towards the left. The right hand can rest down. The left hand perhaps can stay where it likes, or it can come down behind you, or it can go towards the right hip. And you can turn to look behind you. And the hand that's resting on that left thigh can keep you in a sense contained and together. And then when you're ready, come back to centre, and then just coming to sit, just resting with the legs in front. So you can stay here with the legs in front, or you can go into cross-legged, or you can kneel, or you can sit on a chair. So we just do this little breathing exercise just to finish the class. So start off with the hands resting on the knees, however your hands, whatever position you've decided upon. Hand resting on the knees, and then take the hands in front. So if your legs are in front, just widen the knees and take the hands in between. Take the gaze down towards the floor and allow your shoulders to really round shoulders. Breathe into the back of the body, breathing in. And as you breathe out, allow the weight of your hips to sink, but the upper part of the spine to lift. Your gaze can be focused down in front of you or on the floor. Close the eyes if it's okay, and the hands can rest on the knees or to the side. But your hands are in contact with something. And then again, be aware of your breath coming in. And you might feel that sense of coming up now. And then as you breathe out, just imagine that whole sense, that feeling, that sense of resting down, right down through to the base of the spine, the tailbone, the sitting bones. And then your breath comes back. And there's that feeling of lift, filling up, widening, expanding. And then as you breathe out, there's that feeling of resting down into the hips, down into the floor. And maybe just for a moment you're giving yourself a rest, but you're wide awake. You're allowing yourself to stop, but you know there's movement inside your body. So you're coming into contact with your life and your breath and this moment and this way of being without changing anything, but knowing that you're nourishing yourself from the inside. You're building strength from the inside to help you with whatever is about to come. So when you're ready, just dropping the chin a little bit. So when you do open your eyes, first person, you're kind of aware of is you. From around the peripheries, you can see the room that you're in and the home, the place that you're in. So you know where you are. Then you just take your time and you come back and out when you're ready. Oh, so well done everybody. Well done.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.